Welcome to Echoes of the Unknown, the podcast where we'll be exploring some of the world's most fascinating unsolved mysteries. I'm Jack Montgomery, and today we're traveling to the close-knit suburban town of Bowie, Maryland, to explore a chilling crime that left an indelible scar on the community. This is the story of the brutal murder of a teenage girl named Donna Dustin following a party, and the painfully frustrating effort over the subsequent 5 decades to find her killer. In the early 1970s, Bowie was booming. The town was one of Maryland's fastest-growing suburbs, a place where neighbors chatted over backyard fences, people left their front doors unlocked, and the biggest trouble usually involved teenagers pushing curfews. Donna Dustin was right in the heart of it. At 17, she was vibrant, well-liked, and just beginning to chart her path into adulthood. She had recently graduated from Bowie High School and had landed a job working as a secretary at the Iron Workers International Union in Washington, D.C. That job wasn't just a paycheck, it was a badge of independence. Donna was responsible, motivated, and excited about where life might lead. Donna lived with her parents, Joe and Dolores, and her younger brother, Alan, in a modest but loving home. They were a tight-knit family who did nearly everything together, and it's that closeness that makes what happened next all the more heartbreaking. On the morning of Saturday, November 10th, 1973, Donna's parents and her brother left for a family trip to Disney World. It was supposed to be one of their first big vacations together, but Donna decided to stay behind. She had work, she had friends, and, as her mother would later recall, she was looking forward to having the house to herself, a small taste of independence. At 5 a.m., before heading out the door, her mother peeked into Donna's room. She was just waking up, her long hair a tangled mess, her mascara smudged from the night before. Dolores said goodbye, told Donna that she loved her, and reminded her that the emergency phone numbers were left on the kitchen counter. It would be the last time she ever saw her daughter alive. Donna had her usual circle of friends, the type of kids you grow up with, graduate with, and keep around in your early adult years. But like most teens, she also brushed up against other cliques in Bowie. There were the jocks, the brains, the hubcaps, kids who loved to tinker with cars. And then there was the rougher crowd, a tight-knit group known for drug use, heavy drinking, regular chaotic parties, and casual sex. They got into frequent fistfights. They messed around with cheap beat-up cars. Some even turned impromptu demolition derbies into a weekend ritual at the local pizza parlor. And according to investigators, there was something darker too, a pattern in which a girl, often intoxicated, had sex with multiple men one after the other. It was known by the slang term, running a train. Sometimes it was consensual, but at other times it involved non-consensual or coercive behavior. This was the crowd that would later be hosting a party the night Donna disappeared. On the morning of Friday, November the 16th, 6 days after her family left on their Disney World vacation, Donna woke up excited. Her friend from down the street, Lori Green, now Lori Minder, remembered that Donna had a first date that night with a boy she'd met at the pizza parlor. Donna wanted to look her best, so the girls drove to Georgetown to look for a new pair of jeans for the occasion. While the girls shopped, they talked about an upcoming Steve Miller concert. They were planning to get tickets for it the next morning. Donna returned home to get ready for her date. She emerged from her room wearing her new jeans, a pink sweater, and fresh makeup. She and Lori cooked up some alphabet soup, gossiped as they ate, and waited for the doorbell to ring. At around 7 p.m., her date and a group of friends arrived in a red '68 4-speed Chevy Chevelle with bucket seats. a car driven by Christopher Miller, an 18-year-old volunteer firefighter. They drove around listening to Jimi Hendrix and Elton John tapes on the 8-track player, picked up 2 packs of beer, and then stopped at a Farrell's ice cream parlor because the girls wanted cones. Miller remembers warning them not to let the ice cream drip in his car. The group of teens eventually landed at a large party in Bladensburg. According to Miller, the party was nothing unusual, just noise, drinking, and a crowd that came and went. Sometime after midnight, he dropped off Donna and her date back at her house, and that's when the story turns. Her date, who has never been publicly named, said they went inside, listened to music, and had sex on the family room couch. He says Donna brought out a pipe and filled it with what she told him was marijuana. When she lit it, I tried some and told her, "This doesn't taste like pot," he said. Finally, she admitted that it was PCP. PCP emerged as a street drug in the late 1960s and gained a notorious reputation for causing unpredictable and often extreme mind-altering effects, including violent behavior, hallucinations, and acute psychosis. It was extremely popular in the 1970s and was commonly smoked, often after being sprinkled or dipped in parsley, mint, or marijuana, a combination that was sometimes called supergrass or killer joints. He says that after he took that one hit, he refused any more. Donna took another couple of hits and then put the pipe away. By that time it was late, and her date worried about chores and his upcoming shift at the pizza shop the next day. Donna, who had no such worries, changed into fresh clothes. She just said she felt like partying more, her date said. She didn't say where. Although Donna's blood alcohol level would reach 0.19%, almost twice the legal intoxication level, before she died, when she left, she seemed under control. I wouldn't say she was impaired, her date said, but she was feeling good. She dropped him off at his house about 1:30 a.m., telling him that she had enjoyed the night. The final hours of Donna's life remain a puzzle to detectives, and what happened between 1:30 a.m. and sunrise remains the most frustrating void in this case. Investigators say 3 people told them they saw Donna shortly after 1:30 a.m. outside a house in Bowie where the rougher crowd was having a party. According to David Cordell, Anne Arundel County's lead investigator on the case, witnesses said there were upward of 100 people milling around, dancing, drinking, smoking marijuana, and taking PCP. People were passed out inside the house and outside on the lawn, and music blasted from the house. By all accounts, it was a crazy and chaotic scene. Sources familiar with the investigation say they believe that at some point, Donna left the party with a small group of men, perhaps 4 or 5, and they all went back to her house to drink some more. At some point, her clothes came off, and later autopsy tests indicated that several men had sex with her. Did she consent? Did she fight back? Detectives aren't sure. What is certain is that she was extremely intoxicated at the time. Christopher Miller, who drove Donna and her date in his car, counts himself among those haunted by that last night of her life. "It never went away," he recounted later. "The brutality of the whole thing. You don't just forget it." The following morning, 1 week into rabbit hunting season, a hunter was walking through a heavily wooded area near Myers Station Road in Odenton, roughly 15 minutes from Bowie. At about 9 a.m., he made a horrifying discovery. The nude body of a young woman lay partially hidden off an old sandy rail bed that formed a pathway running through the 130-acre property. Her head had been smashed in. She had been brutally beaten, having been struck multiple times. Her clothes were nowhere to be found. According to the hunter who discovered her, Her body had been desecrated in ghastly ways. Donna Dustin had been dumped like trash in a forlorn place in the pine woods that served as a rural party spot, known for stolen cars, bonfires, and secret teenage escapades. It was also a perfect place to dump a body. The man who discovered the body emerged from the woods and told a second hunter, Buzz Meyer, what he had seen. It was a horror story, Meyer later recalled. Sick, sick, absolutely sick. Investigators believe Donna may have been killed elsewhere before being dumped in the woods. The medical examiner estimated her time of death as sometime in the early morning hours of Saturday, November the 17th. The people who dumped her body at Meyer Station left 2 sets of boot prints behind, and that's all the evidence they left. The investigation by the Anne Arundel County Police into Donna's slaying was immediate and extensive, but it went nowhere fast. They conducted a thorough canvassing of the area, interviewing over 200 people, including friends, partygoers, and neighbors. 16 men were asked to voluntarily provide DNA samples. Lie detector tests were given, but yielded no firm suspects. Scores of interviews with people who had been in contact with her that night provided no real leads. There were whispers that some witnesses were reluctant to talk, either out of loyalty, fear, or their own possible involvement in the crime. Witnesses were brought before a grand jury that was convened, yet no charges were ever filed. Within 2 weeks, police admitted they were at a standstill. By the end of 1973, one investigator said, "We're grabbing at straws." Over the years, the case resurfaced from time to time, only to fade again. In the late 1990s, cold case detective David Cordell revisited the case and identified 2 new persons of interest, one living in Syracuse, New York, and the other in Orlando, Florida. Both were said to match witness descriptions of 2 of the men Donna left with. The man in Orlando willingly gave DNA. The man in Syracuse did not until a court ordered it. Neither man was charged. Authorities never confirmed whether any DNA matched. Their names were never released. In 2008, Cordell tried a new approach. He attended Donna's 35th high school reunion. He walked in undercover, hoping age and nostalgia might unlock old secrets. He got 18 new leads, 2 new names. Still, no arrests, no closure. Perhaps the most tragic element of this case, beyond the horrific crime itself, is the emotional toll that Donna's murder took on her family. The impact was devastating and long-lasting. Her mother, Dolores, never recovered from her loss, and she passed away in 2008 without knowing who was responsible for her daughter's death. She carried the weight of that final morning goodbye for the rest of her life. Her father, Joe, who died in 2011, always held on to hope that the case would one day be resolved. He once said, "Whoever did this, they've lived their life. My daughter never got the chance." That poignant remark encapsulates the enduring pain of unresolved justice. Donna's brother Alan lost not only a sister, but a major part of his childhood. The police still list Donna's murder as an open case. Advances in forensic technology, like touch DNA and improved profiling, could one day provide the missing link. But as of now, no known DNA evidence has linked anyone to the crime. After more than 50 years, this case exemplifies how the passage of time can both hinder and potentially help investigations. While memories fade and evidence degrades, the years can also loosen tongues and consciences. Although 5 decades is a long time for a murder to remain unsolved, justice sometimes moves slowly. The police continue to seek new information, maintaining hope that someone will come forward with a crucial detail that could finally crack this haunting case. If you have any information, no matter how old, small, or seemingly insignificant, please contact the Anne Arundel County Police Department's Cold Case Unit. Time can change memories. It can also change hearts. Someone can still speak. Someone can still do what's right. Today, a memorial bench in Bowie's Acorn Hill Park serves as a quiet reminder of Donna's life and legacy, representing both the community's remembrance and its unhealed wounds. After all, Donna was more than just a victim. She was a daughter, a sister, and a friend. The murder of Donna Dustin stands as a sobering reminder of how a single night of violence can forever alter both a family and a community. The case highlights how even in seemingly safe communities, darkness can lurk beneath the surface, forever changing the perception of security that residents once took for granted. It also raises uncomfortable questions about justice delayed or denied, and forces us to consider the very real possibility that Donna's killer has lived decades of freedom while her family has endured decades of grief. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Echoes of the Unknown. If you found this story compelling, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with fellow mystery lovers. Until next time, stay vigilant, stay curious, and remember, seeking justice means never forgetting those who we've lost.